Hello, guys. Maly here from the big island of Hawaii. I'm here with my partner, Michael. He's my referral partner on the east side of Hawaii. And today we're going to be talking about very, very interesting topics. One that keeps recurring. It's a recurring conversation that we're having with all of our clients. And that is interest rates in the current market that we are experiencing. If you are new to this channel, if you're new to this content, welcome. Feel free to post any of your questions that you may have in regards to the market that we're currently experiencing here on the Big Island. Michael, welcome.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having
Lovely
me.
to see you.
It's good to see
So,
you.
so guys, we are experiencing a market that to many, of course, many of our clients are looking at contents. Hi, guys. Somebody sent out a heart. Many of the clients that we handle that are on the mainland are seeing price reductions right now. Price reductions are happening. Price reductions are now a thing of this market. We're going through a readjustment process with the price points. Sellers are starting to realize that this huge hot market that we had in the beginning of the year is now coming to a little, the brakes are starting to, buyers are starting to say, hey, this is all I can afford, Mr. Seller. Like, calm down. and sellers are starting to feel it. If you are currently on the market of purchasing property in Hawaii, and if you have experience what's currently happening, feel free to put it in the comments so that we can read your comments or what you're going through. But we're going to be talking about the interest rates that we are currently experiencing. And we're gonna be sharing our thoughts on what's happening with all those properties that are experiencing price reductions. We have pretty amazing stats for you to digest. Michael and I, we are associated with the Board of Realtors. We have access to information to where we're able to pull up reports and stats. So right now we're going to be able to share those price reductions that are happening in our market. Michael, I'm going to be going onto the MLS and
Okay.
share with you guys a couple of price reductions here that I saw earlier. Are you ready, guys?
I saw a few today, and one or two really jumped out at me. I was quite surprised.
Right.
They were
Well,
more than what you would think,
right.
but that's not a bad thing. It's there's a reason, I'm sure, behind why we're seeing what we're seeing. And,
There's a lot. There's a lot of reason, and mainly it's because the interest rates, right, Michael? I mean, interest rates keep rising, and prices are now trying to adjust so that now the buyers that are utilizing conventional financing can afford these homes.
Mhm.
There was a very particular, of course, there's this $6 million listing over in Puaco that just had a $500,000 price reduction, Michael. Michael, Puaco. I mean, highly sought after subdivision. This home would have
Exactly.
been gone in days
Hmm.
in the beginning of
Was
the year.
yeah, yeah.
So, and of course, we're talking about high end properties that, are listed way over $1 million. This property is gorgeous. If anybody is familiar with the subdivision in Puaco, you guys know what I'm talking about. This subdivision is oceanfront and it's just
Mhm.
majestic. But it just today, they just released a price reduction of $500,000.
Mhm.
That is not the only property that experienced price reduction today. There's also, another one here in Lawai Road, $50,000, $74,000. So all this down arrows and
Mhm.
red numbers, those are price reductions, guys. And we're Thursday, right? It's Thursday today, and this is only for North Kona, South Kohala.
Mhm.
So things are
Yeah,
shifting for sure. Michael,
I
do you want
keep
to speak in behalf of the East Side? What have you been experiencing on your side as far as price reductions?
Yeah, so I am starting to see price reductions on our side. Of course, our price points a little bit lower. If we're just saying, $500 to $600,000 or less, we are seeing some price adjustments. I think what we're seeing is that the market, as you had described, I'll just call it the feeding frenzy that we saw
At the beginning of the
at the
year.
beginning of the year when interest rates were still low. There was a lot happening. People were refinancing, and it afforded folks that wanted to be here because they could work remotely, whatever it might be, they could afford be a second home or their primary residence. So the slight increase that we're seeing is really just limiting the pool of buyers. And I would tell folks, don't don't panic, because it's the one thing that we're not seeing is an influx of additional homes hitting the market. So we're still kind of even keeled as far as inventory is concerned.
Correct.
But interest rates have gone up slightly. It just means your purchase power is a little bit less. That's where I say talking to a lender is going to be key for you, because they can help you to reassess. It is unfortunate we've seen some cancellations because
Mm-hmm.
somebody was coming in at $550,000 and interest rate going up, 1%. There's some articles that talked about how that affects the purchase power. It might be, $45,000 or something less that you could afford. So if you hadn't planned for that, yes, that's going to affect you. But just like anything else, it, if you've got good credit score, and you're working with your lender, they are going to be able to help you navigate what we're seeing. Uh, that being said, my broker said it best the other day that he felt that our market was turning into just a more normalized market for us here on the east side. We're still opening, 30, my office alone, probably 30 or 40 escrows this month. So things are happening.
Right.
And but prices are adjusting accordingly. So
Right. And you know what? And I think a lot of this a correction, right? They're calling it a correction of the market. I think
mhm,
a lot of it is happening because prices were so outrageous at the beginning of the year. I mean, we were seeing offers, we were seeing a lot of lot of sight unseen offers. I mean, that
mhm,
was like the theme. Everybody was doing showings with their phones, and it was just a buying frenzy. This
mhm,
whole for the past 6 months, and ever since the rate started to increase, we have been noticing that buyers are kind of like on waiting mode, and that's something that we want to talk to you guys about.
mhm,
I have a client that was quoted for an investment property, and of course, all of this differs from lender to lender. But for him, was a it's labeled as a second home. He got quoted 6.5%. Because he's not occupying the home right away. Of course, those interest rates are always higher. Um,
mhm,
to when, of course, you can have a strategy in place with your lender and refinance at a later time. There's other
mhm.
programs that a lender can discuss with you to see if it's something that you find achievable. But it really, I think people are very used to seeing 2.5% and 3%.
Right,
And so right
right,
now they're kind of like in shock, right? That they have missed the boat.
right. But there's still
And
the
now
interest
six
rates
sounds
are
super
low.
expensive,
Right, right.
even
But
though,
they're still lower than they were historically. And so we were
right?
blessed. Mally and I were talking before that we were blessed that for the past 2 years there there was no raise, and it was partially due to the pandemic. So it's not uncommon to see this. And if you think about it, you're in it for the long haul, and that investment that you're making is the long haul, a 30-year, a 15-year fixed. It's things will change, and the market will continue to change over time. And as Mally said, the interest rate may come down. We may start to see,
Right.
um, people refinancing. And again, working with someone like Mally and myself, we can help to craft an offer that might be beneficial, especially for the buyer in this market, where maybe asking seller to pay points to bring down your interest rate a
Right.
little bit. or to offer credits where there may not have been credits before, as opposed to just a price reduction.
Right. I think right now we are in a very creative market, especially when
Hmm.
writing offers. So you want to make sure that you have the right partner working with you alongside this. This just it's a different type of market, right? I mean, every market it has its challenges, right? This one happens to have the challenge of the increase of interest rates. It's very important to note that this is of course, the Feds are ones to thank for this increase in
Hmm.
interest rates. But it is very important to note that this has been our fifth rate increase for this
Hmm.
year. Michael,
Right.
do you want to speak a little bit on that?
Yeah. Well, as we said before, we've been blessed that we haven't had that type of increase in years now. So five in one year is a lot to swallow. Um, I'm
Right.
not I'm not particularly seeing folks, shy away from purchasing because of that. I think some folks may be looking at the stock market and what impact that might have on cash reserves or retirement if they're getting close to retirement age, and how that might impact them. So that might be influencing some of their decisions. Uh,
Right.
but again, as we said before, rates still are historically low based on what they were. I mean, think about, I had a conversation with my sister years ago, and the house she bought was like what 13 or 14%, and she hadn't refinanced. And I thought, how could you not refinance?
Right.
The rates are so low. You need to do that right now.
Right.
Uh,
Immediately.
and a lender, there's simple calculations that one can do to show what that impact would be. And again, for us, that's that half a point or something like that. While you may think, oh, I can't afford that house now, again, back to what we just talked about, working with your agent, we might be able to craft something to where, again, if they
Makes
buy
sense.
a point or something, it might just drop that back down so that you can afford that house.
The house. Right.
Hmm.
Right. And also, it works all around, right? Because we can craft the offer, but also matters what type of relationship we have with the agent representing
Hmm.
the sale of the home, right? I mean, there's so many levels and layers to
Hmm.
crafting an offer that can go through to where we're able to work things out with the listing agent and make it work for the buyers. But we're certainly definitely going through a market to where we're seeing price adjustments. If you've been waiting on the sidelines, if you're cash, you're having fun
Yeah.
because
And
now things are now looking like a deal.
right,
to,
right. And that might be seen favorable by some sellers that thought that they wouldn't be able to sell their house if you've got cash on hand,
right.
um, to work something out. I think that's the one thing that I would say. I'd ask you, Mally, is are you seeing an increase in inventory on your side of the
We
island?
are. Oh,
Okay,
yes.
it's
We
just more
are.
homes to
Now
market.
there's things to show, right? I mean,
Okay.
now we have inventory to show to where, if you were to pull up either vacant land, I mean, there has been an increase for vacant land here in Kona. There's more vacant land sitting, active for a little bit of more time.
Right.
There's houses sitting longer on the market. So now there are things to show. So when
Right.
buyers are in town, it is sometimes nice and refreshing because we haven't had this market in a
Yes.
while.
Yes.
So
Yes. Things aren't being
yes,
snatched for us on our side, and this is an interesting, little dynamic of our island. That for us on our side, we're not really seeing an increase in inventory, other than the homes are staying on the market just a little bit longer than
longer,
they were. Um,
right?
I did a I did a little study the other day for a client. Went back pre-pandemic to like 2019 and just pulled for a month. Average days on market to sell at that time for the east side was 88 days. Same time, and this was August. I chose August of
Wow.
2019, August of 2022, and it was 44 days. So, and if I pull that back, a couple of months, you would probably start to see that trend where it was less than 44 into the 30s. I think we were down into, you know, tens, maybe dropped
Right.
below that for a while. So, but again, for us, we're not seeing additional homes hit the market. So it's not so much of in my mind, not so much of a a buyer's market. It's just more normalized for what we are used to seeing. And for us and as agents, we somewhat forget because it was so busy for so long, and you're working just at this frantic pace that when you take a pause and realize, oh, okay, yeah, this is the way it was prior to that.
Prior.
Now let's work within that, and that's where I would say for buyers, you know, we were dealt with one issue before. Work within what we have available to us today.
Right. I'll say this for anybody, and you know what, to go back onto your days on market,
Mhm,
specifically for Kailua Kona, for
mhm,
the North Kona area, we were at one point 14 days. That was the average. And I mean,
mhm.
accounting all the active transaction,
Yeah.
meaning that there were some properties even selling that day.
Yes.
Like, I mean, it was just crazy, right? So right now we're definitely experiencing longer days on market.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely more hesitation from people that are utilizing conventional loan.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say this for the people watching, or the people that will watch this replay. Um, I will say this: if you go back to your core, right, to
Mm-hmm.
your driving force to moving to the island, those are the buyers that I see that are continuing to make things happen with their loan, right? They're just working with the current loan conditions. They have penciled out that they were wanting to move at this
Mm-hmm.
time, right?
Right.
And there's also, just for people that have or that are actively looking, keep into consideration there's conversations of the interest rates that they're continuing to rise.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say the longer you wait, the more you're prone to paying more.
Right.
Um, if I were to forecast, I would say that we're going to be in the sevens by the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we're already on the six.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that, based on past history and how things are going, every time we open up the news and we look in regards to what's happening with the rates, um, I do foresee us going into the sevens very soon.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're one that is looking to relocate and really looking to make things happen, I would highly suggest that you can either get a hold of Michael and myself so we can get on your case and understand your goals and timeframes and make something happen before we are touching the sevens, seven and a halves. God
Right.
forbid
Right.
eights. I
Right.
really hope.
Yeah. Exactly. I'd say I feel like there's an advantage though right now because of what we're seeing in the market that say like the escrow companies aren't as busy doing refinances, so they're able
Big
to
time.
focus. And the best way to say it is they're able to focus a little more on you as the customer through that entire process. We're seeing that with, the appraisers aren't as busy. So where we were having appraisal delays before, not as much. They're
Not as
turning in more
much.
quicker. Things like termite inspection or surveys, they're happening at a normalized pace. They're able to get them done as opposed to waiting
For
for months.
months.
Yes. And I think as homeowner, that should make you feel good to know that, you know, everybody has your attention.
Right, right.
Ourselves
And you know
included.
what, Michael, on this side of the island, on the west side, there's a company called Kona Pest Control. And this
Hmm.
company, I mean, while we were going through the pandemic and for a year and a half, they've been booked solid. Always were able to come through for my buyers. There were some instances to where, they just didn't have inspectors available and they were like booked out months. But
Hmm.
we're currently going through inspections on a property that we're currently under contract. And this company that was like slam solid has no termite inspection inspectors right now. Like they have ceased, operations because the market has slowed down significantly,
Hmm.
and they're okay with that. And I have seen that with other companies to where they have slowed down their workforce on an
Hmm.
area that doesn't have as much demand as we once saw it, right?
Hmm.
I don't know
Right.
if you have experienced that on the east side, but
I have.
that's,
Yes,
yeah,
definitely have. I've seen it with some escrow companies, but at the same time, they're still doing their job and
right,
servicing the clients
right,
with that.
right. Well, guys, I mean, if we can leave you with one thought, is to really analyze your goals, make
Mhm.
sure that you are in peace with the decision that you're making today. As far
Mhm.
as continuing to wait, if you want to make it happen, we're here to help.
Mhm.
There's definitely we're swimming against the current, and the current
Mhm.
is called interest rates, and and so we're really hoping that they become more friendly, but that is
Mhm.
a wish, right? And as I
We're here,
once
as we said, we're here to help through that.
and we're
Did you
here to
want to
help.
show, did you want to show a few listings?
Yes, yeah, yeah. I'm actually moving towards that page. So
Okay.
we're going on to the MLS right now, and I currently see a couple of viewers. If you want to say hi, we will be more than happy to say hi back. Let's see. Okay, Ohia Estates. This
So
is a
I think we always
gorgeous.
have everything centered or a little bit. I try to find stuff that are centered around what our topic is, and so
Right,
we're doing interest rates. Um, this house has its short-term vacation rental license. So for somebody that's moving here, um, and maybe they're looking for a way for additional income because interest rates have gone up, here's an
right,
opportunity.
right.
I look at this as an opportunity for somebody, that something you may not have thought about before, but there is an opportunity there for you to. Maybe you're not able to move here right away, but you could get into the house, rent it out, make a substantial, a decent income, um, pay down your mortgage a little bit, and then when you're ready to relocate, all's good, right? You're
Right.
ready to go. So,
This is such a beautiful property. And it is just, I mean, look at the backyard. It's so cute. There's a lot of ferns happening
mhm.
here.
Oh, I
This is
love
a
the house.
really solid. But what I love about it is the STVR permit.
Yes, those are very far and few between. And
Oh,
when I
yes.
surprised this is still on the market right at this moment, um, a lot of folks do um, ask for that. So,
Right.
but it's, it's an option. It's something that you may not have thought about in making a purchase. And
Correct.
again, talking with your lender on how that is really going to work for you. It might mean a second home, a little bit more down. However, it gets you here. Is the
Right.
way I would say it. Yeah.
And for people that are watching, this is in the district of Pune. We have plenty of content that talks about Pune. Michael has talked about Pune plenty. But if you do need to connect with him and learn more about this property, feel free to reach out to Michael. So, Michael, I'm going to move on to the other property. This find was very, very beautiful. And guys, as we gear towards we're currently seeing a lot of people that are training for Ironman, and I can
Hmm.
totally see people vacationing,
Yes. Renting out part of their place.
renting out that property. Yeah,
Exactly. That's an opportunity there. This house is right in town, right in Hilo, and I chose it because I believe it's got you know, a, I don't know if it's permitted or not, but it does have like an apartment, so you could live in your house and rent out part of your house. So again,
right,
talking about interest rates being a little bit higher. Well, I know some lenders, and this is where talking to your lender is key, that some of them will be able to take that rental income and include it for what you qualify for. Uh,
correct.
and so that, again, just thinking, and this is where, again, I feel like Maly and I can come and help with. And you might think, oh gosh, I don't know that I want to do that right away. Maybe it's just for the short term. And at some point in time, maybe extended family member then wants to move over, whatever it might be. Things can always change, but it's an opportunity where you may not have thought that you could because interest rates are going up and you just can't afford it, well, this might work.
Right.
This
And
might
you know
work.
what? And I love what you said. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, how am I going to make the payment work? But,
Hmm.
if you have a property that where you can rent out a portion of it, then you can kind
Hmm.
of make up for that difference, right?
Hmm.
And even and potentially earn a little bit more. Rents are, I mean, we're a pretty strong market for rents. Would you say
Yeah.
that? I mean,
Oh
that's,
yeah. Rentals are far and few. I have folks looking right now and cannot find a
oh boy.
rental at all.
It is hard. It is hard,
It is.
especially for people that are moving here and gotten into a rental situation, thinking that they were gonna find the home of their dreams, and they haven't really gotten to that stage. I mean, it's a
Hmm.
struggle for them right now because the rental market is tight. So this is, and it's in the heart of Hilo. Beautiful property, Michael. This one is going at 560, and it's south of Hilo.
Yes, my office is right around the corner. So
Right?
come on over.
Hey.
Meet me at the office. We'll go walk over and we'll show the property.
Right. Right. I love it. No, I thank you so much for sharing these amazing properties for the viewers. So guys, if you have any, thank you so much for the hearts. We are receiving a couple of hearts and likes right now. If you guys do have any questions or would like to email Michael and I, you know exactly where to reach us. You can either also join our Facebook group, Moving to the Big Island of Hawaii. And we will be more than happy to accept you in the group and talk story, as they say in Hawaii. Michael, do you have any final thoughts, any final words?
Oh, just don't panic.
Don't
Don't panic.
panic. That
Don't
is
panic. It-
right.
it- yes.
I'll say uh, there's so many ways to observe this market, and I will say that if you paralyze, it is not this market is not for the faint of heart, right? And for the people that have been waiting to make Hawaii their home, I will say to not wait any longer if you're utilizing conventional loan. That's the caveat.
Mhm.
If you're cash, then you don't have to worry about interest rates rising. But if you're
Mhm.
planning or intending on utilizing conventional loan, you should definitely act
Mhm.
on property here in Hawaii. And
Well,
those are my 2 cents there.
definitely, definitely. But we're here to help. Know that
Yes.
we're here to help. So
Guys. Well, it was an amazing live stream with you. So for now, we say, you know what happened right now? My menu went out.
no, no.
Of course, it always happens when we're ending the live stream. No, but if you guys give me a minute, I will make it work here. Okay, it looks like we may be okay. So I thank you so much for being here, guys. If you guys have any questions in regards to anything that we have discussed today, if you were to send us an email. But for now, we say aloha, and we're very thankful that you were able to watch us today.
Yeah. Yes. Aloha. Thank you for having me.
Aloha, guys.